Hey y'all, it's Noah My Chomsky. I'm here, fueled by cheddar cheese, Arizona green tea, and the Knave of Hearts, who I just pulled today. Um, so I was like, hey, why not? Why not do a little showcase? Why not just talk about Knave of Hearts? Yeah, because if I got them, I'm sure that others did too. And even though there's only 62 ratings out here, I think he's rated a little bit higher than reality. Um, yeah, so let's go through it. Um, and then we're gonna talk about relics, equipment, thought processes, and we're gonna go on from there. Uh, so yeah, let's put that cheddar cheese and green tea to good use. um, that was a cough and a laugh. I apologize. Um, A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance, goes up to 50, of placing a provoke. Each hit also heals the ally with the lowest HP by 3% of this champion's max HP. Cool. He's HP based, as you can see behind the shadow overlay. 3% is going to be pretty big. You know, I'm looking at 120,000, 150,000 HP if everything goes well. I really just I have 3 builds. I already did presets in, so it could be juicy. It could be mighty. Um, that's basically just enough for a brimstone uh savior hit. You know, it, just enough. You'll maybe you'll see. I don't know. A2 attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from each target. Places a continuous heal on all allies, and then also places an unkillable and a taunt on him for 2 turns. This goes down to 3 turn cooldown. Pretty sweet in this one. I enjoy unkillable and taunt. It basically says, "Hey guys, take a breather. I got this." Um, Not too bad. His A3 is a 4 turn cooldown when booked. He's swapping HP with a target enemy. Places a heal reduction for 2 turns. Can't be removed, transferred, or have its duration decreased by enemies. Hey, you know how to read? I know how to read too, right? Um, Equalizes the HP of all allies. This gets pretty cool because, for those nukers that we have with him, uh, yeah, we don't have to build them out with too much HP, because this could potentially get them up and running. So not too bad. Um, if our dudes get knocked down and get picked up again, you know, this gets them going. I'm not mad at it. Let's utilize it. And in addition to that, he's placing an increased defense. That's pretty sweet, you know. And then at the start of this dude's turn, fully restores his destroyed max HP. Eh, meh. Like this, like honestly, the max HP stuff, okay. And I mean, if it's destroyed, okay. Like in all reality, where are we busting this guy out? Arena? Mm, mm. Uh, Faction wars? Okay, that kind of makes sense. But like, I'm not taking him in my arena teams. I'm not taking him to Hydra because this stuff ain't working. I can't swap HP with a boss. Placing unkillable and taunt. I mean, you're talking about wave content. So like, uh, kind of like okay, like, mm. But the juicy part is when he's attacked, he destroys the attacker's max HP of by 20% of the damage received. Okay, so if Terrace is going to come on out and toss 100k, that little zapper on the ground to us, okay, Terrace is going to get 20%, 20,000 damage. Oh, okay. That's that's not too bad. I like this part, um, but it's only their max HP. So it would have been cool if this was the reflect damage component. If they were just going to take 20% of the damage that Knave receives, but not there yet. So kind of interesting. Um, Artistically, dude's a badass. Like, yeah, just a badass. Would be cool to see this helmet down, the face guard, but whatever. Still think that beating hard is neat. You know, ah, Plarium, thumbs up on that, on the artistic stuff. But that's not why we're here, right? We want to see how to build them. And I haven't done his masteries, but I'm definitely going to be going more defense based. And I would imagine support. Um, I would imagine support. Let me sound more confident with that. I would imagine support. Um, just for sustainability. Honestly, just having him be a thorn in people's sides. That's it. So how am I thinking about building him out? I got three. So one of the ideas is a protection set. I want to save that continuous heal. I want to save that taunt. I want to save um, that unkillable. I want to save that decrease or that increased defense. I want all those buffs to be saved. I don't want that taken away. So the idea here is that a dude goes basically pretty fast at like almost 300. Okay, I want to get him out there, place that taunt, all that fun stuff before anybody else could take a turn. You know, um, yeah, he's at 265, and then with the banner, once that gets going, could potentially be at like 285. So that's okay. I'm not mad about that. It's really just that 9-piece protection. You know, uh, getting that 5% more damage. So if this guy is going to be a jerk and soaking up all that damage, I want my allies to, that noise brought to you by Arizona Green Tea. Uh, I want I want my allies to do as much damage as possible to them. Because they're going to be getting 15% more damage. A taunt, um, a taunt, the continuous heal, and the unkillable. Like that's pretty sweet. So definitely looking at protection. Uh, the other one I thought of here was like a stone skin quasi build with um, with a counter attack here, and I don't like it. It's too slow. Like really, like 209. If if I could get a shoes end with him for him to like I don't know just go next, like that's cool, but you're not wasting that go next opportunity on Knave of Hearts. Like no, I'm not buying that. Um, so I'm looking for speed. You know, I'm also looking for accuracy too, and like this is not going to cut it. 209 and 168, and yeah, Chomsky, dude's a 5-star. He's level 1. You got time, and yeah, I do. So he's not fully up there yet. Get it, but the accuracy is way too low. And the reason why I'm kind of picking on the accuracy is that A1, I want that provoke to come out there. Like this is effectively like a 37.5 chance of landing a provoke. You know, 250s. And he's attacking twice. So like, okay, cool. Um, yeah, I okay, but I they could be resisted. So if he doesn't have accuracy, then what gives? So that's why I think that second version not not really the greatest. So the third one again just kind of thinking out there. I would get him in a protection set, okay? A 4 piece at least. Maybe a 5 just to get that 12% speed. Just to get a 1/4% um, to place a protected buff could be good. I obviously want 75%, but okay. To get 25% is okay. I'm getting the HP and the speed. So all the pieces that I want, right? You want the dude to be tanky, you want him to be long lasting, you want him to be sustainable. So you want to crank out the HP, you want to crank out the speed, and you want to crank out the defense too. Because again, he's going to be soaking up all that energy, all that damage. So like let's make it count. Defense, HP, speed. You could make them kind like this is not a good attack build, but I had crit rate here, so that's the only reason why he's got a lot of crit rate. I would not worry about crit rate or crit damage. Instead, I would worry about accuracy and resistance. Um, Having him in a stun set, and this is items that I don't mind pulling from my others. Um, yeah, man, he's just such a weird champ that you don't know where to put him. You know, um, I think I I I, I really think that Plarium put Knave of Hearts out there for future content. For him to be in in some battles out there. In Doom Tower or in City or even in event dungeons, because the dude's kind of a clunky guy. You know, um, this Gallant Knave is awesome. I dig it. He's stealing buffs as well as just being a nuisance. But the stout defense has a great concept, but in practice, you know, that doesn't really do anything. Because bosses could resist or it doesn't really proc on bosses of swapping HP. But placing a heal reduction, okay, so Amia's boss, like in Curse City, like the main boss, oh, okay. And then, you're not really healing anybody, you're just equalizing. So then Amias doesn't get that heal. And then we're also getting an increased defense. Okay, that could work, but as an A3 skill, I kind of expected better. So with that said, I really think that this is just to be a pain for us when we're in other content, you know, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, like, yeah, the game is fun. The game needs to be a little bit more challenging. So this is definitely there. So then when we think about relics, I with the relics that I have, I I would think Mask of Rage makes sense because he's going to get HP, defense, and if we go all the way, accuracy. It sucks that there's only one spot here, and that's fine. Um, it could work. We're not placing down any ally protection or anything like that. The Hatter's Reserve could make sense, um, just to get more damage out there, because you're gonna want to crank him up with as much HP as you can, right? Dude's rolling with HP as his modifier, so kind of makes sense. But ugh, um, the traditional rule of thumb is that the HP based damage champions that are out there, they're not doing as much damage as others. So for Hatter's Reserve to come on out here, kind of doing them a disservice. Um, HP is great, awesome, love it, yay, more. But then attack and crit damage, I I don't see him as the attack champion that I would want from you know my champions. You know, um, Having him be the nuisance, I'm really thinking of this of Mask of Rage, but the problem is he needs to bust out that provoke. So that means I now have to build him with accuracy, and not just a little bit of accuracy. I need to bust out a lot of accuracy because in PvP, we're looking at dudes with like 300 resistance or more as kind of the base. So how do we get around that? Either we increase our own accuracy, thinking about Marius, um, busting that out as a buff, or we have a decrease resistance in others, like that's kind of what we're left with. So I I don't know. I do have a few banners um that do have accuracy on them that I could take away and do that up. And this one would be nice just because it's 26 speed. Um, you know, always a potential there. Like pinpoint also works, because it is accuracy and speed, and it is giving us the ability to do some crowd control there too. But that's the joys of raid, is that we could have a couple different aspects of this champion and how to build them out. You know, crank him up with HP and defense and speeds as way he gets going, or get him accurate as you can, have him with taunt, and then have that sliding scale of HP and defense. I don't know. So this is my first build on him. I don't really have a perspective on where I'm going to put him in or who I'm going to take out. Who I'm going to replace him in with. So I'm just gonna cherry pick. I'm gonna take him in minnow, take up his scrolls and stuff like that, and really just have fun with them. Um, I'm waiting for a champ training event to really just crank him up, you know, and take it from there. As a level one, like I have enough to take him in and you know take care of some books with them. I've already done the ascension just this way I could do some of that amulet stuff. Um, I have enough here, so I could potentially do it, but we'll see. I have a nice little list of things I need to take care of. Always have your notebook ready and you know just to jot down some ideas. So yeah, version 1.0 Knave. Here we go. Yeah, I'll provide an update soon, and we'll take things from there. Um, but yeah, there you go. Leave me a comment if you have them. He's still a relatively new champ, so I'm not expecting to see him around. But when I do, I'm paying attention. Yeah, find me on Twitch, Noman My Chomsky, and yeah, we'll have some fun there. Until then, enjoy.